Okay, welcome to episode 3 of the Infamous Performance Podcasts. If you have seen our previous episodes, please push a like and subscribe. We've got some good guests coming up in the future. In episode 4, we've got a very big special guest coming on. He's got a good life story in his performance. So keep tuned for that. We will be putting that on our Instagram channel and breaking out the future guests early so you can get ready for it. So today, Ben, what are we going over?
Today we're coming out of lockdown. Well, hopefully.
Well, we're very near to when this episode's out. We'll be pretty much near out of lockdown. So
yeah, especially for gyms. Us in the United Kingdom, 12th of April, I believe. So hopefully this is the last time we're in lockdown and we're out of it from here.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So there's a lot of things to kind of take into account when you want to think about coming out of lockdown. The main thing, because we're a training podcast, the thing is training. So kind of like what training will look like ultimately for the majority of you, because a lot of people might not have had equipment or been lucky enough to get a little bit of equipment from the gym, but you've not had the magnitude of equipment or variety that you do when you step into the gym.
Yeah, I'm sure for many people they just haven't had that weight selection to keep them super strong. Maybe got a few dumbbells here and there. You may have been lucky enough to get yourself a barbell and some plates, but it's still not the sort of load that you would be getting at to in your gym, and especially training with people as well, that push. I know a lot of people maybe even still got the kit, but they just haven't had that will there.
And yeah, there's a lot of things that will potentially have missed, like people that are keen on the weightlifting, you might not have had enough room, garden or like space in the house, and also the gymnastic element, rings, bars. Like I know a lot of people have been making do, and that's great, but there's just a lot of things that might have been missing out. And as you touched on, is kind of having the people around you that gives you that little extra push, especially when you go into kind of those CrossFit workouts. I think the main thing with this, and as we've spoken about, and what we're thinking, and as a kind of headline as a gym to lead into, is kind of look at it like you've just finished a season of football or rugby, and you've had a bit of an off season, you had a bit of downtime, or a little bit longer, unfortunately. But yeah, you're coming back into a new season, and I think the best thing that we always push, and it's the foundation of pretty much everything, is strength.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're coming out of your season, coming out of your downtime. First priority, just build a base of strength back, because as you said, like not having the load, especially for a high training age, someone that's used to moving heavy weight, you might not have increased your strength, you might have lost a bit of strength, and that's okay, or you might have just maintained, which is great. But I think we can always improve strength. Like you're 20 years in and you're still...
And this is a good time. Like we know that most of us have probably lost a little bit of degree of strength, or some of us has lost a lot completely. And I think you've got to look at this like, imagine you break your leg, okay? Once you're out of the cast and now you can move and you can train, you wouldn't just rush straight back in and be doing heavy squats or anything, wouldn't you? Like, it's simple as that, because you know your leg's been damaged, and you would follow that protocol. You would slowly build it back up. You've got to look at it like this. If you haven't been around any weights or resistance training for a while now with a lockdown, take your time. The excitement of walking in the gym and rushing in is going to be there. So you're going to be like, right, I want to do everything again.
Oh yeah.
But then you could head completely down the road of our last episode of burning out, straightforward. And I think the thing you got to look at coming back is less is more to start with. Such a good saying. I think if you're thinking, I'm going to get in and do 5 days, hard 5 days, I think that may have a bad effect, depending on where you are. So I'm really trying to aim at more the people who haven't done much. If you have been a super soldier and you've got your own gym, you're probably raring to go. So and if you understand that, then that's good. But if you haven't, then you've got to really take your time and take your time. Like hopefully this is the last lockdown done and dusted. We've got plenty of time to build back up. Get into a strength program. It's a great way to start. Like you say, we're coming... For all you CrossFitters, the Opens pretty much would be nearly done by then. So it's a great time to pick up basics that you've moved away from. It's always good to revisit basics, mechanics, strength.
And normally, if the Open is something for like a CrossFitter that is your bread and butter, and it's what you're aiming towards the year, the perfect time is post-Open. little bit of downtime between, like a little bit of deload, get into a strength cycle. That's the best thing, because ultimately, like, the stronger you are, the movements get a little bit easier, you build better efficiency in the movements, they'll get a little bit easier, you conserve energy, then you can push harder, and ultimately we see that as kind of years go on. It's like, yeah, get stronger, and you will get better through the open. So yeah, the open might be eye-opening for a lot of you. It might be like some of you that hold yourself to a high standard. I know when we've done the open, we always do, like, just look at the year. Don't beat yourself up if you don't do as well as you expect, or like, because everyone's been in a completely different kind of boat towards like the last year. As you said, some people have had equipment, some people have had home gyms. It's great. Some people have managed to get stuff. Some people haven't been able to get any, or just not felt the like the consistency with their training throughout this year.
And then it's like a new pair of shoes as well. Like, you could have bought yourself all the singing and dancing equipment at home, smashed it out for a couple of weeks, but then the novelty wears off, like everything in life. You know, you buy that thing. You know, for me, I know personally, I can't train at home. Home has always been my resting ground. It's a place where I like to go.
I haven't. A lot of people have, like, that's been quite hard. It's like, you eat, you sleep, you train, all in the same space. You're not creating a divide. So it's like, it's definitely been hard for everyone to keep that motivation. For you guys that have, and if you haven't, just don't beat yourself up. I think that's the main thing that we're trying to get at is. Yeah, you might have lost strength, you might have lost skills, but
that's okay.
Perfect opportunity to not restart, but build your base even bigger.
Yeah.
Like gymnastics, I know a lot of people would have been able to do the weightlifting side, like that I kind of lean towards, but the gymnastics side, like how many people have a pull-up bar, how many people have the opportunity to do muscle-ups and kipping work, like. But that, as a gymnastics coach, is a perfect time now.
Oh, perfect time now. And revisit those movements. So before, what were they looking like before lockdown? Did they need tidying up? You know, this is a perfect time now to start building up awareness around gymnastic movement, especially with the pull-ups and handstands and stuff that a lot of people take for granted because it's thrown into an intensity environment. Start picking and making them look good and building them up. Great time to do it now. Involved with your strength and your barbell work. It's like a great time to start from a good base, build it up over a good period of time, and be a better athlete than you've ever been. Because because in a way it's sort of like what you did need. You did need a kick up the arse to revisit some basics to improve who you are, because you have been pushing hard and you think that's the way it's all just going to continue to move forward.
Well, as soon as you get like your first kipping pull-up, you forget about the basic hollow and arc position on a bar, or even on the floor.
Well, we know we know as soon as you introduce the kipping movement with gymnastics, the continuum of strength is done.
Yeah,
you're not going to build any more strength from that. So, like, you can try and add more reps to your kipping pull-up. You're not going to. The process of the pull-up is done. It's like strict is always the way that if you want to get more kipping, your strict number goes up, then obviously the strength is there for your kipping to go up.
Endurance, you know? Yeah. And this is like if you haven't hung on a bar for almost a year, it's going to be definitely a stimulus that
or if you haven't held weight over your head for a long time, that stability, all those finer muscles around the big groups are going to be a little bit forgotten about. They're going to be like, we haven't done anything. So take your time. And again, it's preventing injuries down the line.
Yeah, like as we know, like
a lot of people will probably be very prone to an injury now. They're going to come in, they're going to get that week in, and then that next week they're going to push, and then hamstring's going to, something could easily go because it's just under immense stress so soon.
I think because you want to look at, and you want to kind of, for people that are very intrinsic or internally looking, they'll be like, oh, I used to be able to do this before lockdown. I want to get straight back to that straight away. And it's not looking at that because, as we said, all the factors that have gone into this last year or so, like, it's not looking at that. It's looking at refining, looking back where you started your fitness journey. Like, you're still a lot better than probably when you first started. You might not be as good as the year just beat or before lockdowns, but that's okay. Like, it's a time to build a better base, build a more resilient, because if you try and jump in with the same weights, and as you said, you're going to push the envelope too much, you're going to maybe reach burnout. Then in terms, you can go into injury, fatigue, and then your consistency can massively drop off.
Massively, yeah.
And that's I think that's the main thing, is like trying to get something that's consistent, like 5 days a week for the first month, and then dropping off. That's not consistent, is it?
Yeah.
You don't need to make up.
You know, if you are adamant that you must do 5 days, I would definitely consider putting that split day in between. So if you to do like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday could be a complete rest day or an active recovery day, and then you've got the Friday, and then you've got the Saturday. And then making sure that if you are in a box, understanding their program, asking the whys about what they're doing at the moment and how they're going to introduce you back into the box. Or even if you're just watching this and you're thinking, right, I'm going to go back into bodybuilding and what should I do? It's all about, but you haven't touched anything for a long time. It's that slow process. Just build back into it. Be patient, because you will get a lot more out of that term rather than just trying to fly in too quick.
I think, yeah, your ego can definitely get the best of you. I know, like,
and excitement as well. You know?
Yeah, we've had it before where you've kind of been off, or you've not had the opportunity to jump into workouts or touch heavy weights or do certain movements. You jump in, you're just like, yeah, let's just lift heavy straight off the bat. And yeah, that's kind of, you're looking at too narrow of a picture rather than looking at too big of a picture.
Yeah.
Which is something that's easily lost.
The
excitement as well, because we're as coaches, we're fucking excited to have people back.
It's going to be great to be back and coaching and PTing again and being amongst the fitness industry. But again, you know, it's just a point of just getting a message across. It's let's just take it easy, build it back. And even with nutrition, I know for me, I was up and down with my nutrition over these lockdowns. So even when you come back, dialing that back in now. Don't just go straight in for a diet and think, I've got to lose this weight straight away. You want to try and find more of a maintenance first.
Something that's sustainable.
Yeah, so you're back in, you're building that strength nicely. You've got your maintenance calories going in again, I don't know, maybe for a month or two, and then decide to go, right now I want to cut. Because you will naturally fill back out with that muscle and you still burn to a degree a certain point of fat if you're healthy and not eating rubbish. But don't just come straight back in and think, now I've got to go on a massive calorie deficit, do a shitload of high intensity, trying to get strong at the same time. So it's just a recipe for disaster.
Back to episode 2, just
exactly, and that's the main point. What we're trying to say is because a lot of people probably will be carrying that little bit of extra weight, so they're going to be like, I've got to go and burn it off and go in. Yeah, well, I am, but I know. You know, hey, it's all right to hold it for a minute. Summer's still a little way away. You know, once April comes and we're back into the gyms, good. We've got a good time to just get into maintenance, just build some normal natural strength, and then once you're up and running, then you can go, right, I'm gonna continue this building the strength, stay on the maintenance. I'm looking all right, or you go, right, now I'm ready to do a little deficit. What I'm trying to get there, the diet will work better from that. If you've been yo-yoing with your nutrition over the lockdown, your body doesn't know where it is, dropping straight into a deficit will probably make you lose way more muscle mass than what you've already lost, and it's just not a great idea to jump straight into unless you have been on point. Yeah. And for the people who have been on point, you're probably going to look. You probably already switched off and gone, "Nah, I'm being all right, so crack on."
But then at the same point with them, if you've, because I know a lot of people that like have kind of almost filled this extra time or filled like not boredom, but they've filled time with doing more workouts. You might have only been coming to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, and now you're doing six workouts a week just because you've got the time and you just want to keep mental and physical stimulation.
Yeah.
Trying to jump in at like 6 days a week again, because as you got to remember, the people that are going to be around here, you've got the music, you just got that environment, that atmosphere, and that's just going to turn everything up 10%.
Yeah.
So yeah, just because you have been doing 6 days a week of workouts in lockdown doesn't mean you need to do 6 days a week of workouts in the gym.
Yeah, because you're going to have a lot more to do now. You're going to have all the equipment back, so you can easily spill into that overtraining again because your body's not just primed for it. So it's just like, take your time, focus on your nutrition, continue your recovery protocols, or fix up those recovery protocols because you're going to need them now because you're going to be back into a routine of everything, work. I know the kids are back at school. So it frees up a lot of stuff, you know. It frees up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So the eagerness to get in and just hit it all hard at the same time, yeah, it might be great for 3-4 weeks, but you will start to feel it again falling down. And then, like I say, hopefully this lockdown doesn't. Well, there is no more lockdown, so we can continue on working up through that program range.
Classic Boris U-turn.
Yeah, classic. So it's like, finally, if you are doing that, if you are training on your own, I'd suggest find a good strength program. If you are in a box, hopefully your box is thinking the same way that we're thinking, that we're going to follow a good strength protocol for a good I don't know, how
2 to 3
monitor your members, monitor your clients, see what they need. You know, everyone is different, but in a class environment, I think everyone could do with a little bit more strength right now. And again, revisiting the basics and fixing up and getting a bit better there. Don't worry too much about the fitness. The fitness will come.
I think it's as we've touched on in kind of last episodes, is like that kind of bigger picture look. Like you said, like if you smash it for a month, 4 weeks, like you might feel great in those 4 weeks, but then will that drop come down? Will that, if you're trying to cut whilst increasing intensity, you might lose weight massively and look really good, but then what happens the month after, a couple of months after that?
Sustainability, isn't it? It's just building back in.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that we've had to deal with as well is like the negativity of you, like internally looking. Like I've definitely through this lockdown been like, oh, you could do this better, you could do that better. Like you like everything. You're always looking at what could be better, but we don't really spend much time looking at back. As I said a little bit earlier, it's like, okay, you might not be as fit as you were before lockdown. That's okay. Look at where you were before you started your fitness journey. Look at like the year before that, and then it can create a better journey or better outlook of the journey where you want to take it.
It's a good way to look back at what you've done and think, what, how long did it take me to get here? And did I do it the right way, or have I done it the wrong way? And if you've done it the wrong way, then you should be learning off those mistakes already.
Oh, yeah.
So if you understand that you've reached a point of overtraining, or you've overtrained with lack of recovery and stuff like that, you know, which I've done in the past, I've learned from that now. So I try and avoid that. And
like going back to linking it into the gymnastics, like you've spent loads of time just not doing handstand push-ups and not doing anything. And what's happened? Like your position's so much better. And that's the point we're in now.
Yeah.
It's like you forget about strict pull-ups once you've got your first kip in terms of CrossFit. I know not everyone, but like the old mentality that I definitely had when I started it, and that's the possibility now to it's a chance to
rebuild,
rebuild.
It's one good thing to look at coming out of lockdown and go, right, I've got a fresh new start and I'm going to use it. I'm not just going to go back into bad habits and bad training methodologies. I'm gonna do something good now and rebuild, you know, and that's what it's about now. I think come out of lockdown, enjoy it, don't overdo it. You know, definitely think about how many days you want to start with, even if it's just for the first week, maybe 3 days, because you don't know what there is on the program. If you are in a class environment, you know, you may get 1 day straight away that may be a little bit too much for you, you know.
Or how you feel after that first week.
Be very observant on scaling your movements. Even if it's a movement you could RX then, it may be a struggle to RX. Now, you may still be able to RX it now, but it may be that little bit too much. So you may think, well, I can still do that weight, but I can't do that weight for as many reps as I could. So definitely scale that back, you know. Don't be afraid to just start nice and easy and build it back up, because that's it. We've got a whole year ahead of us now to hopefully just build and get back to a better position than you ever were, because you've had this little pull back, like I say, big negative experience mentally and physically for us with lockdown, but let's take a positive out and go, I can have a rebuild.
Yeah,
it's like sending that car in.
Yeah,
you know, it's 15 years old, it's going in for a full makeover.
Yeah, it's needed every now and again.
Use that time.
And I think in a sense of kind of outside the CrossFit world, I think, as you said, like if you touch into bodybuilding, if you haven't touch weight, just feeling weight again, taking your time, like slow contractions, just will build back that feeling, that connection.
Focusing on the mechanics, building on that technique. There may be some mobility work to come out of this. There may be, I know there's, especially for you guys who've been working at home now, you've probably been more so sitting there with those rounded shoulders.
Back,
so you definitely want to look at maybe some thoracic and shoulder work, and if there's, maybe hip work, if you've had to go out and get a driving. I know some people have had to change jobs, so they may be getting a driving job, so they've been sitting down. So there's going to be that aspect to take into it as well. You may come back into the gym with some mobility issues that lockdown has given you. So it's like address that straight away, iron that out, and then everything should start to fall back into place. Like I say, less is more is the big message I'm trying to say with this today. Build into it nice and slowly. Take your time and just enjoy being back in the gym.
Yeah, strengthens your foundation. But yeah, as you said, most of all, just enjoy.
Yeah,
I think that's...
Enjoy it.
Because we're going to definitely enjoy having people back in the gym and just move in and... Yeah, just instead of doing it in your kitchen or your living room.
Yeah, and without a coach monitoring you and making you never know, you could have been doing all these push-ups over lockdown completely wrong. So it's another thing. So I think that's enough on there, really, for us to drill into. Hopefully you get a good message from this. Take it. Remember, less is more. Build back slowly. Enjoy your process back in.
Don't be negative on.
Don't be negative. Don't feel down on how out of shape you've got. We've all hit it. It's fine. We can build back. It's nothing that we can't change and get back. Just look at the highs now. Get out of this. Again, summer's coming as well, so it's warming up. So that always helps. Bit more sunshine. Get out in the sunshine. Enjoy your life. And we'll be back for the next episode. So next episode 4, we've got a big guest on. Very big, powerful man. I won't say the name yet. I'll let that sort of sink in. See if you can try and guess. It'd be very interesting on that one. I don't think this guy's ever got to really tell his life story before over anywhere. So.
No, his life, his training, and kind of the journey it's taken him on.
So it's going to be
like his dedication to his sport as well was something that's just fascinating. And but that's for the next.
That's for the next one, and then the episodes after that, we're probably going to touch on as well the alignment of gymnastics that I've especially been focusing on is how to use gymnastics in a CrossFit environment. So how do you build up to those amazing ring muscle ups and those amazing handstands and where you are? So from different aspects of an athlete coming from a background or not, that's another episode to look out for. And other future topics will be going over with whatever comes up. So hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Please remember, push the like button, subscribe to us so you can stay up to date with all the future episodes coming out.
And share it with a friend.
Tell everyone about it. Say these guys are talking some truth. You can learn a lot.
Or just some shit.
Or you can go, these guys are a bunch of dicks, but they sound all right. Whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to leave it out there. I'm going to say goodbye. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.